Yo, this is it. I'm Mr. Fade, and you're listening to Attacking the Beats on IllMuzik.com. Here we are once again. I've got another 5 beats this time, and there's not too much to talk about, really. I mean, well, there's a few things on IllMuzik, like some articles that have gone up and stuff, and all that shit, So you may have been experiencing some, a bit of downtime on the site. Maybe a few times the site went down for you or whatever, so I'm working on it. There's some bullshit going on, so I gotta fix that, but it's gonna be fixed soon. Don't worry. But in the meantime, we'll get started with the show. And first up, we've got who do we have here? That's a good question. How come I'm not prepared here? What's going on here? Okay, let's see. Go into my files here. All right. Okay. So first up, we got Buddha with "Knowledge Is Power." Let's check it out. All right. Okay, so that was Buddha with "Knowledge Is Power." All right, so first we got the drum track, which is the big highlight of this beat. It's a banging drum track. I don't know if you're using it's a break that you chopped up or whatever, but either way, it's hold on a sec here. Gotta adjust the mic. Either way, it's a really banging drum track. So I like the way you did that. It sounds good. A few times, you just kind of had the kick repeat a few times at the end of whatever bar there, so that was good, but right away as soon as the bass line came in, it's like, okay, this is really, really heavy, and I love using the sub bass. I love that shit, but it's so hard, it's so hard to use the sub bass sometimes because it's just so heavy, so when you use it, you could filter it, you could take out some of that low end and stuff, and the sub bass is good for in certain situations and stuff. So, in this case, it's because it's really deep. It's it's hard to really get a good grip on this bass line, if you will. So what I recommend is to take the bass line, filter it a bit, so it's not so deep, and the actual pattern, because you just have the pattern at the beginning pretty much, and you just hold on to it or whatever, and I wrote an article a while ago, a couple of years ago or something like that, about the bass lines and stuff, how just keep it simple. The best way to do it is just to have these short bass bursts, if you will, that follows the kick, so you could have a bass note on each kick at the beginning of each bar, so you could do something like that, and at the end of the fourth bar, for example, you could just pitch it up or whatever, it'd just be like, it's like do, do, and then do, 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 something like that. So just very simple, straightforward, but it makes a big difference on the beat. So if you have, these drums the way you have them, they sound great. If you have just a simple bass line that sounds like really good with it, it's going to be good, so it's going to sound really, really good. And that's always the good foundation, right? Bass and drums, it's very, very important. So anyway, then you have the flute coming in, which is good. It sounds a little dry, but it is good. I do like it. And I was going to recommend, when I was listening to it, I was like, you should use some keys or something, like piano or Rhodes or something like that. But then you brought in that string sample, or it was like a string ensemble or something like that. So that sounds good. So in that case, keep that going, but just bring in, I think you had that towards the pen, towards the right or something. So on the left, try to bring in some strings or something like that, just to complete it, because it sounds good with the flute like that. Just bring in a little something just to fill out the space, And the last thing is the samples themselves, like they just cut off abruptly. A lot of people do that. I do that myself too sometimes. So the best thing to do is to, you can either just chop the end of your sample and just play that as an extra little piece. It's barely noticeable, but it fills that space, or have like a slight delay on just the tail end of that sample, and that'll fill it out and stuff. So just try that. Like I said, the drums are great, so don't touch that. The bass, just make it simple. Keep the flute going the way you had it. Maybe add some strings, and then after that, just clean up the sample so that it just fills up more of the space of each bar. So that was a big review, but all right. Okay, so who we got next here? We've got Flip Beats 215 with Time Travel. Let's check it out. All right. Okay, so that was Flip Beats 215 with Time Travel. All right, so this one, you got this nice jazzy sample going. I like it. And, it's like I was just saying to Ibuda. I mean, the sample's cutting off abruptly and stuff. And you have that here, right? I mean, it cuts right off. And, that's okay in certain situations. It depends how you're using it, because sometimes you can have a sample that just cuts off abruptly, but when you play it along with other music, other samples or whatever in the background, you don't really hear it, right? So, but in this case, even when your drums and bass came in, you could still hear it. So, well, first of all, I mean, the whole beat, it just sounds really good. I like the way you're using the sample, the type of sample, the drums, the bass, like it just fits. Okay, so that's good. the main thing is the sample just cutting off abruptly. So in your case, you have pan to the left, you can hear the strings. So like what I would have done with something like this is chopped up those strings. Just take a little piece of the string, and then you just loop that. You just play that a bunch of times all throughout your bar. Lower it so it's just very, very, very subtle, and at least it's filling out that space, and then you're not going to hear it just cut right off, right? I mean, well, you still gotta mess with the sample so it just trails off at the end, but still, at least you got something in the background that's going to fill out that space and stuff. So work on that part, because it's such a good sample, so just do that, because even when the bass and drums came in, it kind of sounded like because that sample cutting off, it sounds like the bass and drum is cut off, you know what I mean? So that's why it's really important to fix the sample, right? I mean, sometimes you get a sample and it doesn't really fit with your tempo and stuff. I understand that, but you got to find a way to make it work and stuff. So, and the horn's really, really good. I like that horn. You could maybe you could flip it up later on and just have like a slightly different pattern with that horn or something, or just have like the horn on note repeat or something like that. Anyway, try that. And but yeah, it's a good sample, good drums, good bass. It's just that sample itself, man. Just work on that part. But other than that, man, good beat. All right, so next up, what do we have here? We got Raz Beats with Flawlessness. All right, let's check it out. All right. Okay, so that was Raz Beats with Flawlessness. All right, so this is an interesting beat, because the beginning, the piano, it's by itself, and it sounds cheesy, just like, it's not like some sampled piano necessarily. I mean, it just sounds like a regular keyboard piano or something like that. But then when the rest of the stuff drops in, that's really good. I mean, the whole beat, it just sounds really, really good. What really stood out for me was two things. Was the drum pattern. I liked the drum pattern. It was different, the percussion and all that, and the way everything was mixed, the way everything just floated, like it was placed, like throughout the mix and stuff. I mean, you had a lot of stuff going on, and it works. You built up the beat. You had I think you had some horns in there at one point or whatever. And anyway, but overall, it was a very, very good beat. I liked the way it was put together, the way it was mixed. The bass line was a little on the heavy side. I mean, it's hard to get the bass under control sometimes, but in this case, I mean, you mixed everything else well. So the bass, I would just bring down the bass just a bit, and maybe just you could try. I mean, what would be interesting is to try the bass line, like make a different bass line where it's more like busier, let's say, because like the other day I was making this beat where it was something like 88 BPM or something. And so that's like I said, it's a slow beat, okay. But then the bass line I did, it was a busy bass line, okay. I had it was just busy, okay. So, and because of that, it made the beat a lot more exciting because it's not just this boring 88 BPM slow beat thing going on. I mean, it's the drums are just slow, everything is slow except the bass line. It makes it sound busier and stuff. So in this case, it's good. It's just that the way that your pattern is with the bass, even the drums too, is that it's just like it's just like a bar. It just keeps building up like that kind of thing. It's not like one fluid type of beat. You know what I mean? It's kind of hard to explain, but it kind of sounds like a bunch of bars pieced together in a way. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, but overall though, I really liked the beat. It was good. So just get control on that bass just a bit, and make the the pattern a little different, and the drums too maybe. So overall, I like it. Good. All right, next up we got Spiegel with Robot Smoke. Let's check it out. All right. Okay, so that was Spiegel with Robot Smoke. Okay, so on this one, now I'm assuming the title Robot Smoke, after listening to this beat, okay, it means that in this beat, the impression I get is that this is like a robot playing a beat, and it's playing it so hard that it's starting to smoke and it's about to explode. I mean, that's the only thing I could say. I mean, because it's a hard-hitting beat, it's the drums are banging, you've got all these sounds coming in, it sounds like a robot or something like that, and you've got a lot of change-ups and stuff, so that was really good. The main thing though that I didn't like was the mix, because even though it's like, I know this type of style, it's this crazy type of beat and all that stuff, crazy style, but still that's no excuse for the levels that high, like those are really high levels and stuff. There was one part where one of the drum breaks that came in, it was really, really loud. It was distorted. Well, at least on my end, it was distorted. So the main thing is the mix. I mean, it just sounds, the beat's very good. I really like the beat. It's just the mix itself. So the mix, I would just tighten things up and not make everything so in your face. I understand with this type of beat, that's the style you're going for. I get it, but still, the mix should be a little more under control. And just actually the sound of the mix too was what I didn't like, because it was too there wasn't enough low end on it. It was too high. Everything was just too high and stuff. So I mean, I've gotten that sometimes. When I use some of these presets for mixing and shit. Like I use what's that VST? It's I can't remember the name of the VST, but they have some presets, and some of them they just make the mix. It's kind of like one of these, top 40 mixes and stuff where it's just like something you hear on the radio. It's just all loud, right in your face, and all that stuff. So that's good for some people. That's good for some type of music, So, but it's not. To me, it's not really good. I don't like that. But so anyway, just work on that part, the mix. But I like the beat overall. It was good. I like the way you threw it all together. It sounds like you're angry. It sounds like the robot's angry. It's about to kill some humans. So, all right. Okay, so next up, we've got the last beat. It's Spuntastic with Indifferent. Let's check it out. All right. Okay, so that was Spuntastic with Indifferent. This one's interesting because I'm assuming that's a sample you've got there, okay, with the jazzy piano and jazzy horns and stuff. And it's good because what I really like about this beat is that the whole thing sounds like it's in a live setting. So it's hard for me sometimes to review beats because I don't know what people are using. I don't know if it's a sample really, or if if it actually is a live beat that you did or something. But in this case, I really like it. It works the way the drums go. It's smooth. It's laid back. It really fits. But the beat it does get repetitive, that sample. So you did change it up later on about the 115 mark. So that was good. But I would like to have heard more of that. Like more of a change up. Somewhat, I know you only got two minutes here in to submit this beat and stuff, but still, it would have been nice to hear more of a change up. Maybe you do if you have a longer version of it. Maybe you already have that. I don't know. But for this one, I just would like to have heard that because it would have been interesting to see how you would have flipped it. So if this is a sample, it would have been nice to see you chop it up in some different way or whatever. So it's not so repetitive and stuff. But overall, it's really good. I like it. It sounds nice. It makes it sound like I feel like I'm in a jazz club, I should say. I feel like I'm in a jazz club and I'm listening to this shit and about to order another drink. So, but anyway, so good job, though. I like that shit. All right, so that's it for me. I'm Mr. Fade. This is Attacking the Beats. And so don't forget to send your beats for future shows. I got a lot of stuff. I got a lot of beats to review here, so I'm really backlogged here. So, but keep sending them in. I'll keep reviewing them and do my best. So, all right. So that's it for me. And my favorite beat this week, the winner is, drum roll please, Raz Beats with Flawlessness. Let's check it out.